We never work out what episode number it is before we start. We're great. We're great at this podcasting.
We are. We're really good at this. You'd think when we're 28 episodes into a podcast, that's my guess, that we'd know how to keep track of numbers.
Oh God, I needed to check that.
What?
Give me a sec.
What are you checking?
Keep the podcast with it, listeners entertaining.
Okay.
Not sure how much I'll edit this.
Okay, it is 28. It is episode 28. Panic
Well
over.
done.
Huh?
I said well done.
Thank you.
Congratulating your ego.
Thank you, James. It is 28. Panic over, guys. And I know I can actually hear you panicking, but there's no need to. We're all good. It's all good. It's all good. We're on episode 28. I said 29. I was one off. Give me a break. Alright, give me a fucking break.
Hello and welcome to the 28th episode of Mediocre Best Podcast. I'm James, the Nerdy Brit Skinner.
I'm Fraser Oliver.
How are we all?
How are we all?
How are you all?
Oh, everyone.
How are you? Let us know in the comments below.
Wow, that was good.
Cheers.
That rhymed and everything. I was
I
impressed.
know, yeah, I just love that phrase.
Yeah, I'm doing well.
You're great.
I'm doing very well.
I'm glad. I'm doing fantastic.
Oh, I'm glad.
I'm
really
great.
glad.
I'm really great.
I'm excited for the drinks today. I want to
We
get
are.
I'm really excited.
Do you want to tell the story behind them?
So, I was watching the Robbie Knox channel, as everyone should.
Friend of
Friend of the channel, Robbie
the...
Knox.
Tweeted about us once because
Yeah.
we directed him to the
To our video about us reviewing his beer. Robbie Knox, I was watching his, and he was sponsored by Beer 52.
Yeah.
Now, usually, I don't usually click on things that people are sponsored by, but he then said you can get a crate of beers, and you just have to pay delivery, which was like a £5. So I went on, and I paid £5 delivery, and got a crate of 10 beers. All different, like, craft.
The one problem with that, though, is then I tried to do it, and the company were like, nah, two of you can't do it from the same... Which seems a bit odd, because if two people from the same household wanted a beer subscription...
They won't let you.
Yeah.
So you get 10, like, different craft beers, which, amazing. I love a craft beer. And so we went through and sort of picked one that we thought we liked the look of. So what have you got there, James?
I've got a oatmeal stout from Sly Fox.
Lovely.
I don't mind a stout. I'm quite curious about an oatmeal beer. And I just...
What percentage are we looking at on that number?
We are looking at a 5.9.
Oh, lovely. I've got an I Love Lamp Pineapple Hefeweizen? I quite like pineapple. A pineapple...
I don't want to... oatmeal intrigues me because I feel like that's a nice basis there for a pint, whereas I don't... Lemon...
A German wheat beer with a Hawaiian twist.
Wheat beers are nice.
I like
I like a wheat beer.
And we're looking at 5.
We sound so fucking old. Oh, I
do.
love a wheat beer.
I love a wheat beer.
Oh, well, give it
5.5 on it.
Lovely.
That's really good.
Oh, I'm gonna give yours a Newfoundlander.
That's good. I really like that.
The reason why that works is because it's a wheat beer first and foremost, and then there's that little bit of lemon.
It's not like a bam, have a pineapple and it's very like have your wheat beer with a bit of a that's rich.
Very nice.
Beer. That's bloody lovely. He says brought down his fucking shirt like a cretin. Oh, but that was that was a bit scary.
I like that. I like that. I'm not sure if you'll like that, actually.
It's not for me.
Sometimes,
it's not for me.
Fraser Oliver,
Yeah.
you've just got to put your hands up
and say, look,
say,
it's not
for me.
Yeah, that's not for me, but this is very me.
Do you have any quotes you can give us?
Yeah, I do.
Go on. Have you got something?
Let me get... So, Jess put something on the chat literally 10 minutes ago.
I
kind of want to put it in.
Okay.
It's about her clit. And I don't know whether it's a bit far for 4 minutes into the Mediocre at Best podcast.
Nothing's too far for the Mediocre Best podcast.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to say who it was. I've given my clit 3rd degree burns. So you can make of that what you want. And we'll go on from you.
Okay.
I'm not the bad guy here. I just got a large straight. Which was one of my favourite quotes. So I'm not the bad guy here. I just got a large straight.
I can't remember the context, but I presume I was playing
You were playing Yahtzee, and I think you made fun of Jez. And went, oh, Jez, that's not fair. You went, I'm not the bad guy here. I just got a large straight. And it made me chuckle.
Jesse Reed just leaves the house halfway through recording a podcast here, Jesse. Audio quality. Fuck off on your run.
Yeah, I did enjoy that. I'm not the bad guy here. I just got a large straight.
Fraser Oliver, can I do a flexing segment in this podcast?
Oh, go on, yeah.
So, when life gives us lemons, we go to Truro.
We do.
We're having a lovely little time, and then Fraser goes, oh, over the road there's a
toy shop.
Toy shop, game shop type vibe. And we're like, yeah, sod it, we're in Truro. I'll go in there,
as fuck.
and I see, now you'll have heard on this podcast my Dalek obsession, and I saw like a big Dalek in the corner. And I thought, oh, that's just because it's right by like the cash register. So I was there like, if that's not for sale, that ain't happening. And then I go over in the corner. I see a couple of other bits. I'm like, right, I'm gonna buy them. You know, I'm trying to collect some more Doctor Who things. I think that'd be really cool. And then while I'm doing it, like you casually do, you ask, I presume the Dalek in the corner for sale. Yes, it is. The light side don't work, but it's 20 quid if you want it.
Jen, it's a massive fucking Dalek. And the Jadoon's just killed himself. Look at the size of it.
Does that properly show that
against your head?
Yeah, it's bigger than my. It's as big as my huge fucking head.
It is massive.
I reckon it's nearly as big as.
Do you want to get one of your Daleks to comparison?
Right,
Let me just cradle the Dalek.
Hug him.
Fuck it. Oh, they're just fucking. I don't know.
What hole? Come on. Think logically, Mr. Oliver. You're not planning on talking at all.
I was just playing with the Dalek.
So bear in mind, this is a big This is a bigger than usual paradigm Dalek.
There's your comparison. This is like the two of them.
Yeah.
It's pretty much two
of those height-wise plus
of a paradigm Dalek that's bigger than.
They're probably 2.5
anyway.
wider.
This is looking straight up to the heavens.
Yeah, that's the one thing I don't like. You can't
have him head on. Oh, guys, just go.
You can't set
have
him
him head on without his eye up in the heavens, which is a bit shame.
But I'll find a cute angle to go.
Morning angle.
That angle works, but
yeah.
I'll take the Dalek out of frame. I don't think he works.
I don't want to break him either.
That's okay.
I don't want to risk smashing.
That's alright, Fraser Oliver. Also, if you're a nerd, I also found a cute little Jadoon vibe, which weirdly looks bigger than the Dalek on frame, and it isn't. It isn't, but
It's not bigger than the Dalek.
The Jadoon is a G.
Jadoon is a G.
So overall, that
great hole
is a really, really successful trip
that we
to
didn't
Truro.
That's not why we went.
Yeah.
And look at that. You came an amount you spent on Doctor Who.
Yeah, which we're not going to disclose because it's actually, people have drug addictions. People have this addiction and that addiction.
Hey, sorry, mate.
Excuse me. None of that. Yellow
just
van.
Stop it now.
Not the 60s. Not being sung about in Beatles songs.
That's good.
Cheers. Niche references.
Yeah,
I ended up talking about this podcast at university.
Oh, okay. Talk to me. Promo, we love that.
So obviously we're actors. Little bits of context as we go, and training. And one of our classes this term's recorded media. So we go into recorded media class, and then in very first class we're told list forms of recorded media, bish bash bosh. And then every time that podcasts get mentioned, because I'm always happy to, I'm not sure how jokey and open you are about it, I make jokes out the Nerdy Brit channel and mab quite a lot in Amata. So obviously whenever the word podcast is mentioned, everyone looks at me. So eventually our lecturer, I'm not going to out her name, just stops and goes, who's everyone looking at? oh, James, do you have a podcast? And I genuinely have just sat there, like, practically giving her a sales pitch for the Mediocre
promoting our
But
podcast.
I was a bit cringe because I was there like, oh yeah, it's this podcast. We just like waffling this. You could say it's mediocre at best.
Oh, I like it.
Thank
that.
you.
That's good.
That could have gone one or two ways.
No,
Because
that
you
was
could have
really
gone,
good.
nah, James, you cringe bastard.
No, that was really good. I love that. Because that's the whole reason we named it that, isn't it? Because it is just...
Embracing what it
it's
is.
just us waffling.
Did it cross 50 subscribers though? I'm not sure. We might have mentioned that in the last episode. We have crossed 50 subs.
Well, then when we were out on campus, we were on like 48, I think.
So
you know,
yeah, that's not
bad
bad.
to see.
Yeah.
So I was meant to bring this up last podcast, but then we were at campus. It was all a bit chaotic. Since coming to uni, the past sort of couple of months, we have both, I think, become addicted with buying a certain thing most days. And I didn't know about this. I didn't know this was a thing until you mentioned it to me. And it's too good to go bags. Yeah. I did not know these were a thing. And then we go to uni, you were getting them. I was like, what? And it's basically certain cafes and shops will basically, at the end of the day, sell stuff that they've got left over for really cheap. So you're like £4 and you get just a bag of anything left over. Which is a great idea. But we have bought so many since being here, and it's now starting to not seem like a good investment. Because the stuff you get, I think like 50% either you don't like, or it stays in your cupboards long, and then it ends up getting binned anyway because you haven't. At least for me, I'll be like, oh, I didn't eat that because I never found time to eat it, and now it has to be binned anyway.
I think occasionally you will just hit a jackpot.
Oh,
so, for example, I've got one from Rose, which I think it's just a Cornish bakery chain. And it was like 3 sausage rolls, like 4 cookies, like a couple of pasties. Like, I was living.
You just got to get the right day.
But I think it's like what you've said. Sometimes you'll just forget about it and you have to bin it. Sometimes there's like we've gone to Starbucks before and been given like Marmite and cheese
or like
toasties.
You went yesterday, you got like a curried chickpea pasta that smelt of shit. Like, we got one today after this podcast from Starbucks, and they've been okay so far, but it's such a risk.
I also think, on the one hand, you're there going, oh my god, you're I'd say on average, it's probably between you're getting these things, you're probably paying like for about a quarter of what you would pay, or a third.
Yeah.
But the problem with that is then they usually like a lot of it ends up being you eating extra food rather than you replacing meals, especially when there's a lot of like. So when I talk about Rose, sometimes I've been given like ones a majority savoury stuff, and therefore that ends up getting used for like lunches the next few days. Really good investment.
If it's like pastries.
If it's pastries and
you're
cakes.
Just eating it whenever.
Like the day of last week to the day, Sidemen charity match, I got another Rose bag. I think it was like 2 donuts, 2 cookies, and then a couple of pasties. All of those sweet treats went during the game.
Yeah. It's like yesterday I had 2 pain au chocolats. They were gone within 10 minutes. I was like, well, then I'll have them.
I mean, it's fun, but I think you also learn with experience. Now having done it, I know really the only ones that are kind of worth it are Rose and Starbucks.
Yeah. Well,
what we have round here.
I got a Cafe Nero one. That was god awful.
Okay.
So I got there. So sometimes they'll cancel your order if they haven't got anything left.
Yeah.
Nero didn't do that, but I got there and he was like, oh, we haven't got anything left. Let me go out back and see like if I can give you anything. So I was like, right. So I just got 3 fresh cakes.
Which isn't...
They were nice.
Yeah.
But it's not really what I asked for, and it kind of defeats the whole object.
Yeah, it's not food
Dark
being saved.
Pony was okay. I got like 5 croissants and 3 fucking sarnies.
I had a bad experience at Dark Pony because I literally just got 3 sarnies, and that's it. And none of them.
That's the thing.
I genuinely like I got Jess just to pay me for it, and she took it herself because she was happy with it.
You want a mix of sweet and savoury stuff. I don't want a whole bag of pastries. I don't want a whole bag of sarnies. I would like a little sweet spot in the middle.
Yeah.
If that's all good.
Right,
Like,
they're fun.
Yeah, it's a fun little. It's not hard. It's for like £5. Some even like 2 or 3. Like it's not like loads of money. It's a fun little thing. You get some nice food out of it. It's not a.
The good thing for me is because I'm not walking to Starbucks to collect it. I only get a Starbucks one if you're getting a Starbucks one, which discourages me. The one problem is I can walk to the Rose in 5 minutes.
So the Rose you just get. I haven't got one from Penryn Rose yet. I got one from the one down on
opposite the Tesco. Round by the Tesco?
Yeah. I've round by like kebab on the corner, that sort of bit. Yeah, it's not.
I've got one from there. It wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. I want to get one from Penryn. I didn't get one today, but they ran out.
The Penryn one. The Penryn one's very good.
This is very niche content.
No, this is what you expect from the Map channel.
Yeah.
What else has happened to me in my other funny Amata stories?
Yes. Amata, for context, is like the Department of Theatre stuff at our uni, just in case people are.
Do you have any funny Amata stories from the
think
first
of
couple weeks at
any.
uni? Have you found getting back into it all right?
Yeah, I've quite enjoyed it actually, because I feel like these modules are actually more doing what we're there to do.
Yeah.
And it's not as like technique-y. Like the first like year was very like, look at all these techniques and stuff you can do. Whereas this is more, here's a script, here's your characters, go on. Which is what I like, you know?
Yeah.
I haven't got any funny stories, I don't think. I'll have a think.
We were asked as a group, can you think of a character that you immediately sympathise with due to their innocence? There was about 20 seconds worth of silence, and I just blurt out without thinking, Bambi.
You got a point though, you're not wrong.
My legs was there like, I was more thinking Harry Potter or something like that, but...
I feel more sorry for Bambi.
Yeah, Harry Potter just, well, to be fair, both the parents are...
Yeah, but Harry Potter's the boy.
Cinema needs to stop killing off parents. Like,
yeah, if that's alright.
Tier list of when parents got murdered in films.
Wait, would that be a tier list of how they got murdered? Or like, who it was that got murdered?
We can't be picky over content, let's do both. We can't pick and choose.
There's 2 clips.
2 mum dead tier lists.
Jesus Christ.
Happy podcast day.
I want to get back to on the subject of Too Good to Go Bag and food.
Okay.
We've both gained an obsession, James, with a certain roast meat, and I think we need to talk about it.
So, in the past week, how many gammons have been roasted in this house?
So I went to Asda to do a weekly shop, as you do, and there was just this joint of gammon, and it was like
for a really good price.
And I was like, I really like gammon, so I picked it up, roasted it, and then cut it into like slices, and that was the best week of my life because I was just like, I can just start munching on gammon. So I go to the fridge, have a bit of gammon, and it's really nice. And since then, I've had 2. I think there's 3.
We've roasted 3 gammons
been roasted in this house in the space of a week and a half.
I don't think I can do it again though, unless I'm like gonna cook a meal with half of it straight away. Because I literally finished mine within 2 days.
Yeah, like it is addictive. Gammon is very addictive. I just found it funny that within the space of a week, 3 joints of gammon had been roasted in this house for no other reason than it tastes.
Than we like gammon, therefore we roasted some
This is
gammon.
the problem with having relatively adult money and your own house.
Yeah.
If you want, you can just roast a gammon. Like why are we roasting gammons?
I find it weird that we're just adulting.
Yeah, we just live. We have a house. We just live in a house.
You still have to do a double take every once in a while. Like
we do this.
This is our rented sofa.
Yeah, like we do actually live here.
Like we have tiles on a kitchen that are
They
ours.
are lovely.
Like those are my peppermint tea bags in the corner.
We have an alcohol shelf as well.
We have an alcohol
It's
shelf.
a well-stocked alcohol shelf.
We need to start.
What we don't have is
Drinks.
What we don't have is a mixer.
Londis.
Once we've gone to pick up the because I was very wary of drinking that. I was like, oh, I've got to drive to get the Too Good to Go bag. So I've popped that on pause.
Oh, okay.
So once we go back, I will. But it was very nice.
But you do. If we need to pause for you to go to drink, I don't want you to be unhydrated.
No, I'm okay. Thank you.
Okay, cool. I'm just gonna sip my beer then. Cool.
I think we should. So we have had a segment has made its way into our podcast, and this is something, before we get into that segment, I really enjoy, is how, like, because when we started this podcast, I was like, I want to have segments that naturally evolve and aren't forced, because most podcasts I listen to, they have little bits that have just sort of somehow appeared, and we've also got the drinks that, I still don't know how, did we just have a drink?
Yeah.
In, like, that was great, the quotes has evolved, and recently, we decided to rank. What was it? We ranked biscuits.
We ranked biscuits on the one.
It was mine.
No. We ranked biscuits in a full podcast we filmed.
Oh yeah.
That then you edited into a clip.
Yeah.
And then lost to the original podcast.
So we did the biscuit one. Then we did crisps when we were outside on campus. And today, are we going to do chocolate bars?
We do chocolate bars, I reckon.
Okay.
Good little bit of fun.
The problem with the crisp one...
Yeah, I think...
let's just address that crisp one.
We realised very quickly, I think in the moment, we literally addressed it on the podcast.
Did you just type in, like...
It's like chocolate rank, chocolate bars ranked, chocolate tier list. We realised very quickly that literally neither of us are crisp men.
Yeah, no, we don't. None of us
I thought you were putting that on hold, cunt.
Yeah, I'll have one more.
Alcoholic. We realised.
None of us are crisp.
We realised that like I will only like eat crisps if they're just like salted crisps or like occasionally I'll indulge in like a barbecue Pringle.
So us doing a crisp tier list was fucking dreadful because
dreadful
none of us
content.
it was good content. Hang on, not the content. We just don't like crisps. Okay.
I don't know if you've noticed this about me.
Yeah.
I'm quite honest with myself about this.
Okay.
I am very weird around like strong looking foods and strong smelling foods.
Okay.
Like certain like.
Well, I know like tuna you get like.
No, but like a lot of like smells and stuff. Like the smell of a strong crisp.
Yeah. No, I get for me it's like pickled onion. If that's anywhere near me, I will probably vomit.
I'll see my dad have like sometimes if we're doing like a little buffet, they have like a plate with like pickled onions, like beetroot swimming around, and it like actively without being like too grim, actively like does things inside me that just so. Oh,
bear with us, Oh, for fuck's! We're recording a podcast. We're halfway through
I was on the phone to my aunt just outside the house for ages.
Sorry, we're just about to rank. Jess, we were just about to rank chocolate bars. Can you not be so selfish?
Jess, you want to come in for the chocolate bars?
Yeah, of course.
We are literally. This is all going in. So, would you like to say hi?
Just finished work. Hi, guys.
I'm going to sit on the arm of the chair.
I've been touching feet all day, I guess.
Yeah, you've already outed where you work fully on Spotify.
Yeah, so my favourite chocolate bar at the moment is Whisper Salted Caramel Gold. It's literally the best thing ever.
If it's not on this list, you're going to be fuming, Jess.
Sorry.
Sorry, we are trying to sort the camera. Are you sitting there? Are you?
I will,
I'm a bit overwhelmed.
Just
Parker, I don't know what's happened. I'm suddenly in the podcast.
Yeah. Do you want to come and rank chocolate bars?
Hi.
Yeah, do you want to come around and rank chocolate bars? Yeah.
Right, let me move the chair.
You'll be asked to fuck off after this segment.
Yeah, we just need to rank
Okay, I bought my laptop to charge anyway.
Alright, cool. You're right.
Yeah. I was on the phone to my aunt, so that's why I was.
Is that?
Yeah, we are. I'm not editing.
Sorry.
any of
Okay.
this,
Anyway,
so.
ranking chocolate bars.
cannot
Go,
see
Frazzle.
Parker.
Right.
Parker, sit there.
Right, yeah. Come in.
There we go.
My G.
Right.
Hi.
So this is 24 corner shop chocolate bars ranked.
Yeah.
At 24th, we have a curly whirly.
I quite like it.
I think
like
that's
a
way
curly
too
whirly.
low.
Because, right, the thing with the curly whirly is that you can sometimes get them for like 30p.
Yeah,
Big
curly whirly.
Dalek.
Oh yeah, you haven't seen the big Dalek.
Yeah. We showed it on the podcast.
Yeah, we have showed it on the podcast.
That is fit.
£20.
Where are you putting it?
I don't know.
That's not important.
But
yet.
£20.
Anyway, curly whirlies. I love a curly whirly.
Sorry,
I'd say it's
for
18.
podcast.
I'll kiss it later.
God.
I was just trying to make me cosplay and not get into large parties.
But I really like.
You can
the
get them
curly
at a
whirly,
corner shop like 30p. They're one of those cheaper ones.
Yeah,
so
a bit
like.
sticky.
Yeah, they are, but that's where you got the chocolate coating.
I've got to resist when we're on camera sometimes
Okay.
making a joke like that.
Right.
It's an oatmeal beer.
Can I try?
Yeah, you won't like it, but.
I wasn't a fan.
I like oatmeal.
Sorry.
Ooh,
Grasping it from the arse.
classic Jess.
It tastes
It's
like
not
Holy
nice.
Communion. Holy Communion!
Right, well, thank you, Jess.
Whack that on the quote book.
23rd is a classic Aero.
No, I don't like Aero.
I don't think I've had enough
No, no,
arrows
listen,
to
so
form an opinion.
Aeromin is the only mint chocolate.
Aeromint's good. But I've never had.
Is that in terms of like one of those like pound like big bars or like a little bar?
It's a little bar.
Okay, cool.
But I've never had an Aero enough to compare.
I
get
like
big bars
I
for
like
pounds, to be
Aero
fair.
Mint in the shake away
Okay.
milkshake that I get.
That's so niche.
22 is a boost.
I love a boost.
I don't think I've ever had a boost.
I haven't
As a
had them
boost.
enough to judge.
I don't think I've had. I think
You
I
don't
might
need to
have had
speak
it
every
once.
time, you know.
Oh, okay. 21 is a flake.
I love
If it's
a
not in
flake.
an ice cream, I'm not having it. I'm
No.
sorry.
I agree with you. I
No.
don't think I'd actively
Because
buy a
it's,
flake.
I love
it's
it.
actively a shitter twirl.
I
Like,
think
I like a twirl.
Everyone's first bite of a flake, right, is really nice.
And then the
Then
rest
you have
of it
another.
is
Then you have another bite, and it just kind of like congeals.
Like, if it's in an ice cream, if it's in your 99p whippy, I'll have it.
But
other
what
than
about
that,
a Ripple? What
Well,
about
I forget
Galaxy
that.
Ripple?
I actually really rate
I
Ripple.
do
Yeah.
like a
I
Galaxy.
love Ripple.
Yeah.
Have you
That's
ever
the
dipped a
opposite.
Ripple in a cup of tea, weirdly?
Yeah, no, I have.
Actually,
I feel like my mum would do that because
No,
my
I
mum
haven't,
loves a
it's
Ripple.
really
literally,
good. I need to
dip a
check
Ripple in
my
a
brain.
cup of tea, suck it off like
Yeah.
a cock. Honestly,
Oh,
it's
so
lovely.
honestly.
Your sister watches this,
No, well,
and you've just.
well, she watched one episode to get a better vibe with you, but you probably won't be in the thumbnail.
Oh yeah, absolutely not.
So that'd be false advertising.
Why
Watch,
is it
like,
Anyway, I'm only
I
in
didn't
here
say I was
because I rang
sucking
the
off a
doorbell.
cock. I said suck off a Ripple like a cock.
Anyway, is that what the beers came in?
That is
No,
what
I
I
just
just
Dalek
realised
is.
my sister does know gays exist.
Number 20 is the Milky Way.
Yeah, I do know that.
You know the,
You know the Milky Way? It's 20.
What happens on Milky Ways? That's a no from Parker.
I don't mind them. They remind me of McDonald's.
Can we have some context, please, my dear?
Yeah, why?
Because they're very childlike. No, I'm thinking of Magic Stars. I love Magic Stars.
Rank. Fucking shit.
I love Magic
Oh,
Stars,
controversial for number 19.
Or in a good way or a bad way?
Bounty.
Shit.
I love a Bounty!
Shut up.
Oh yeah!
Yeah, but your toes are really chunky, so...
though. A bounty, you filthy pervert.
Yeah, no, sorry.
Pat off.
Bounties are fucking
Bounties are
awful.
so crackers.
I don't.
Oh,
Like, your toe ratio is actually a bit mad,
What?
you
I
know?
don't. I've got a fat big toe.
They're fucking so little stubby.
This little piggy went to market.
We should never have invited you into this podcast.
I don't know. You didn't even. I just opened the. No, you just opened the front door.
You
and shoved the
interrupted
camera in
us
my face.
during
Yeah.
Mab 27?
8.
8, fuck.
That's
Anyway.
okay. Number 18 is the picnic. I don't like a picnic.
I don't know.
No, I
what
don't think I've ever had a
picnic is.
picnic.
It's
Does it have nuts
basically
in it?
it does nuts and fucking raisins and shit.
Nuts and fucking reasons.
Yeah.
Janice?
A picnic is just fucking god of. Oh my god, this is so low. 17 is a crunchy. Why is that
What?
17? Are you
Elite
joking?
chocolate.
Do you not like a
Elite.
crunchy?
It's kind of
I
mediocre.
don't like honey.
I like
At
it.
best.
No,
No.
I like the mini ones that you get in Quality Street,
They're the same
but
fucking
not the
thing.
big
What?
bar. I
Do you
can't
mean
eat a big
Heroes?
bar.
I don't like-
Yeah, I can't eat a
I
big
don't
bar.
like
Why
honey.
not?
You don't like
Because
honey?
it's just a little bit too much. I get
Gammon
stuck to the
honey.
roof of my mouth.
How did
No,
you
if-
get such a
if
roof? How
honey
did
is
that
cooked
country
in
get
with
stuck to the roof of
savoury
your mouth?
food.
And it,
Like,
you
I
know,
love
like
honey
Christmas
This is
gets
great
stuck
content
in your
And I love-
because we're both having two separate
Yeah.
conversations. It's great.
Sorry.
Sorry. Fraser, come in the camera.
Come.
Sorry.
Yeah, so crunchies should be top 3, if not the number 1.
No.
Fucking 16's
Bloody
caramel.
love a crunchy.
What the fuck is a caramel?
I've had a caramel. It's basically like cunty white chocolate.
Okay, it doesn't look great. Caramel does look a bit awful. 15 is your dairy milk, a classic.
It's decent
It's
chocolate.
decent. It should be higher. Dairy
It's
milk's
like
just
top 5, but not top 1.
It's like home comforts. It
is.
Little, like,
It's like lasagna.
Snickers at 14. What opinions on Snickers? I don't like Snickers. I don't like nuts.
kind
that
of
was a
rate-
niche joke. I picked up on that.
What did you
What
say?
did I
I
say?
just laughed lightly, like a Snicker.
Ah, I got it.
Oh.
Yes, Snickers isn't. I don't really like. a
I
Snicker.
don't like a sweet nut unless it's in the bedroom.
Good.
These
13
nuts.
is a Kit Kat. Not
Yeah.
a Kit Kat chunky, just a Kit Kat.
Have you
Nah,
ever
I think
had-
it's that junkie.
Have you ever had a salted caramel Kit Kat chunky?
No, I don't know what.
I am a massive fan of salted caramel. That is the least creative it's awful.
Is it not good?
In terms of you set things up going, I love Kit Kat Chunky, I love salted caramel, bish bash bosh. It's such a poor use of salted
Oh, that's
caramel.
a shame.
Actually a bit of a wee piss take.
That was salted caramel Twix. It would be up in the top.
Honestly,
God tier.
If I'm being completely objective, salted caramel Twix is the best chocolate
It's
bar.
incredible. It's incredible.
Because it almost has like little like crunchy bits of salt within it.
Yeah.
Like you can actually almost like crunch on a little bit of salt every
just
once in a
so
while.
good.
It just hits the spot.
I don't know.
Almost like little like grains of salt that you
crystally
like
salt-
actually
yeah,
like.
it's
On
that
my walk here, I was
enjoyable?
thinking of a
Yes.
chocolate bar and I can't think what it was.
11 is toffee crisp. What was it about toffee crisp? I've
I
never
don't
had
know,
one.
I don't know actively had a toffee.
I've
Toffee
never
crisp
had a
is one of
toffee
those chocolate bars that you would know exist since you were a kid, but I don't think you've ever actually had
No,
one.
I've never had a toffee crisp.
You had a toffee crisp?
The other day.
How was it?
What? So you're gonna sit there and go,
Sorry, we're all saying we don't know. This is content. Tell us about the toffee crisp.
yeah, can you actually give us some insight, please?
I like it. It's
What
I
is
don't,
it? What kind of texture?
It's like a cornflake in
It's
like
corn.
a bumpy chocolate.
That
It's
sounds absolutely
it's not the
god-awful.
best. It's got toffee
Sorry,
in it.
it's
but
cornflakes in bumpy
It's like a crunchy nut. It's not the
It's
best.
crunchy nut cornflakes in lumpy chocolate.
fun.
I
Well,
momentarily
no, that's
forgot
still
what a
a
cornflake was.
Put me on the mailing list. Fuck
I'm
it,
sorry,
hell.
did anyone just hear that? I momentarily forgot what a cornflake was.
That sounds like a you quote.
Yeah, it does
It was
sound like
Parker.
It was me, I promise.
Sorry.
Parker.
Yeah, if you could pronounce his name correctly, that would sound like.
It's 2 syllables, not 12.
I will chin you. I will chin you.
Number 10 is the double decker.
I quite like
I-
the two different textures of a double decker.
I like.
Have you ever had a dinky decker
I was-
as part
I
of
was
a
about to
Heroes?
say- I was
Because
about
they
to
are
say- yeah.
fucking
I was
dreadful.
just about to say.
I didn't know they were called
The dinky
dinkies.
decker takes everything that's good about a double decker.
And
the
shits
the
on
point
it.
of the double decker is that
So
it's a big,
nothing.
chunky chocolate bar. A dinky decker is god awful because where's the double gone?
Yeah.
You don't like a double decker? Oh, it's the two textures that just sort of melt. Oh, it's really good.
I think that might be
I
my
like the
issue with it.
nougat.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
a bit of nougat. Nougat's great. Oh,
Yes, your
for
commentary is
Christ.
actually
If
world
anyone,
Thank you.
if
Yeah.
any of you say that this is a good chocolate bar, at number 9
Fraser, you're not even in frame.
is Cadbury's Fruit and Nut.
No, get
Please
out. It's
don't tell me
disgusting.
that anyone likes the Cadbury
My
Fruit
dad
and Nut.
quite likes it.
My dad loves the Cadbury Fruit
I
and
feel
Nut.
like 50-year-old middle-aged white men like it.
Sorry, I don't know who the
apologise,
fuck
be
has
great
done
all
this
over.
list. Because at number 8 is a Yorkie, raisin and biscuit.
Oh,
What the fuck?
Right, I'm going to be
What
completely
the-
honest.
What old man has created this list in his
Right.
spare time?
Guys.
James
for
gonna
fucking
say he
nothing?
loves scrolling on a raisin and biscuit Yorkie.
No, what I'm going to say is, I don't mind them. Because, you know how you can get, like, obviously, like, 4-packs, like a lot of these chocolates?
Yeah.
My parents, like, quite a lot,
Right.
bought, like, 4-packs of them. And it's one of those where if it's in the fridge and I want something like that, it's something I would happily eat whilst not choosing in the supermarket myself.
Yeah, no, I
Okay.
that it's a bit. But the fact that it's at 8.
A classic Yorkie is
Yorkie is
bloody
amazing.
lovely. It's
But
that
the
fat
fact that-
chocolate.
The fact that raisin and biscuits at 8 is a bit of a shame. 7 is a Kinder Bueno.
Bueno!
It's good, but I don't think it's a number 7.
It's not the worst, but anything Kinder, especially Kinder Bueno,
Hippo.
is the most overrated chocolate.
I will back that.
They
Other
are
than
a
a
bit
Kinder
too
Egg.
sweet.
I love a Kinder Egg. I will
They're
say
like-
Kinder Eggs are great.
They really like
But Kinder
hippos.
bars of any kind are just a bit.
Hippos.
You and your sodding. If they're on this list. Right, number 6 is a Whisper Gold. Not a Whisper Gold,
Oh,
caramel,
Whisper
just a
Gold.
Whisper
Look,
Gold.
A Whisper salted caramel.
is my favourite James
Oh,
Do you
Bond.
want to talk about it a little bit? Do a little sales pitch.
Oh god. Yeah, I didn't
So-
say. I'm gonna.
In the shop across the road.
Sorry, Liverpool drew in the end. That's
So-
such comedy.
So the shop across the road from their house is a Londi's, and I discovered a couple of weeks ago a limited edition Whisper Gold salted caramel, and ever since then I have had one every single day, and I am obsessed.
Thanks for that, Jess. Number 5 is the Lion Bar. What's a Lion Bar? There you go.
Wait, little lion.
Oh, I've
never
is
actually had one
something in
before.
the world
It is
for
a.
you.
It's described as a kick-ass, wafery, crunchy piece of awesome.
So
So I basically killed myself, but that's all good. Number 4 is a dime bar.
Dime bar.
What, as in Dane?
Yes.
I've never ever had one before.
Never had one.
Have
Is
a
it
Dane.
good, James?
Have a Dane bar.
A
in
little
you.
Dane
No.
bar.
He does, I don't think any of us
Then
have
we'll
one.
move on. Number 3. Oh, for fuck's sake. Number 3 is a Mars bar. How's that number 3? Is that just me? who
What's
thinks
number
it's
one?
So, well, I don't know yet. We'll get there. We've got two to go yet.
Alright.
Mars bar. Does anyone like a Mars bar? 'Cause I think a Mars bar.
I quite like a Mars bar,
I find
actually.
it not number 3 though. Surely it's not a number 3.
I actually reckon. Oh, do you know what? I had for the first time, back in Western,
Go on.
a battered Mars bar.
Oh,
And
battered
they're
Mars bar.
actually fucking quality.
I
After you got that, because it was with Fabian, I did get one. They are amazing.
They're so sick. I
I
would
don't
happily get
understand
one.
the concept of
Well,
that.
you get a Mars bar and batter it.
No, I fucking understand that. Just never mind.
I like the ice
Well,
cream.
Well, think about it. It's what.
Me too, actually.
Thank you.
Like battering something is one of those things. Obviously, you don't consider it as a sweet thing, but it isn't an actively savoury thing. So therefore, it kind of like complements
does
an
it, yeah.
already sweet concept.
It is very good, and the chocolate melts, and it's just
I like the Mars bar ice cream.
yes.
Like
no, I'll back
you
that.
can't, not the ones that you just scoop. Like it comes in
Yeah.
a bar frozen.
It's like a frozen
It's
Mars
like a
bar,
frozen
it's-
Mars
quite
bar.
I've got a feeling this might be. I was going to say
It's
this might
just
be an
actual ice
American.
cream, but like as a bar.
Huh?
I was going to say I think this list might be American, but it's not because we've had dairy milk and shit. Because number 2 is Reese's Nut Bar.
My dad likes them. Well, he did. I don't
We've
know.
ruined James. We lost him.
No, Reese's isn't a number one. I'm
Reese's.
sorry.
It's number 2.
Reese's Puffs.
It also called a Reese's Nut Bar.
Reese's Puffs.
You're eating, James. Would you like Reese's Nut Bar?
Imagine if your name was Reese and you had nuts and you'd be a Reese's nut bar.
Thank you, Jess.
You can't breathe, it's fucking tapping.
Okay.
Are you okay?
That's really funny.
Now, number 1,
Yeah.
I think it's a good choice.
I thought you said Reese's was number one.
Number 2.
Oh shit.
Number 1 is a Kit Kat Chunky.
But it's a biscuit.
Oh, that's a fat L.
What?
It's, yeah, but if for a number one, it should be.
Thank
a
you,
chocolate.
Jess.
It's a
Cheers,
biscuit,
thank
right?
Jess
It's
Field of
not
the
a-
Mediocre Best Podcast. Please leave the set. Very good, funny. Well, there was a note that I made about
Okay.
like 3-4 months ago. Do
Oh.
you remember when Ed Sheeran was at someone having a go at him for there was like a legal case over him like stealing music?
Oh, yes, I do.
So for context, like there was some like out there song was going like, we released this song before you and this sounds vaguely like it. And now, he basically, Ed Sheeran, after he wins his case, releases a video going, yeah, like, any cases like this are just fucking against music. There's only a certain amount of chords, a certain amount of notes, and the way you can arrange things before some songs sound vaguely similar. And literally, I think it was yesterday, so 2 days ago, when this podcast will come out, he's getting another lawsuit.
Oh, my God.
So I feel like it's relevant now again to talk about, just because it's happening again. Some people will find any way to
honestly.
make money.
Because he's got a point. There are only a certain amount of chord progressions and combinations you can do.
There's only what, like 12 notes?
Yeah.
There is.
And, like, looking at, like, a chord progression for a song, there's only a certain amount of chord progressions you can do that will sound happy for a happy song, or that will sound slightly more, like, mellow from,
Like there is the
Fucking
famous
hell.
example of the 4-chord song that shows how a
Yeah.
lot of the famous songs are made via the classic 4 chords.
Yeah, like, fucking hell. As long as it's not, like, genuinely the same song, yes, it might sound similar. There's, like, loads of examples of that in, like, any form of media where you could go, oh, let's get a lawsuit because that's somewhat slightly the same.
So dumb.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, I feel
It's
like
just people looking for
looking for a quick buck.
yeah.
Quick
It's like-
wee bit of money. I think it's cretinous. I
Does my
really
head
do. Like,
But the whole, like, there's a whole copyright, like, a lot of things around copyright and lawsuits confuses me so much.
well, even like obviously like we've experienced, not to obviously a degree of I
Oh,
want
a
to
lawsuit.
I want to take millions off you because you're Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
But you know, like,
Copyright claims on a video here and there.
because a lot of the times the copyright claim you get isn't actually from the like it'll be a song and you won't get a copyright claim from like I think like the best example I think of is I actually like a Deadpool musical parody thing, and there was a version of Beauty and the Beast in there, but it wasn't like Disney that claimed it. It was someone else. So they must own some form of rights to it, but it's clearly a strenuous link that because surely it'd be Disney.
Yeah.
That would own the rights to that music. So
they're just very much. It's just people trying to get a bit of money, isn't it? Does
Yeah.
my head in.
that's not very funny.
It's just not very good. Oh, you're odd. I'm scared now. Prick.
We're both nerds.
We are.
Well, how have you been finding She-Hulk? ongoing little. So sometimes I feel like we forget we're built in nerd, and therefore we can on this podcast, if we want, talk about ongoing TV shows like She-Hulk. I know I can't talk about it with you, but can I quickly just say House of the Dragon is so class. The Game of Thrones spin-off thing. If you're vaguely liked old Game of Thrones, watch it. It's class.
My problem with She-Hulk is
I'm probably gonna make a full video on this week.
This is dangerous territory.
Yeah.
So I said at the start, before we'd even watched the pilot episode, if it ends up being too goofy and I won't like it. And I get that the comics, She-Hulk is breaking fourth wall. It's the goofy. I get that. I think the past few episodes have displayed perfectly what I was worried about.
Because it's the problem is that the MCU is, and I'm not saying it has to be quote unquote realistic, because it is a universe where superheroes exist. The problem is it has to be grounded within the universe it's in's reality, and it feels like because it's technically a legal show, and all of like what?
My Too Good To Go bag got cancelled.
Oh no!
But yours might have done, but we did order ours a bit later.
I've got a notification. Yeah, same.
Oh, they've cancelled them all, haven't they?
Yeah. Have you got a notification from them?
I haven't got a direct notification.
You might not have notifications on there. Well, that's a bit fucking disappointing. I kind of wanted a Too Good To Go bag.
No! Speaking of Too Good To Go bags, ours might have been...
Mine's been cancelled, yeah.
No, mine's...
Oh, okay.
Mine's still up. Might change. Can I pinch a lift?
Yeah, of course.
Still. Okay. Yeah, mine's still sound.
Really?
Might lose it, but
yeah, it's one of those, because it's a legal show. You kind of want some legal content, if that's okay.
like I don't need it to be season 2 of Broadchurch.
No, and when there has been like court scenes, it's always been interrupted by some goofy like gimmick of some sort, and it's like, can we just have? If you're doing a She-Hulk show, then give us some lawyer stuff to like, because that's what we want.
Give us some cool. Like, I don't feel like we've actually used the idea of the superhero law division. Like,
No.
like we kind of do, and then whenever we do, it's kind of like, it's always used for jokes.
Yeah.
It's always magician not very good at magic, or you've got I kill myself every time I want to get out of my marriage.
But also, it was at the start. It was very much, this isn't going to be a cameo every episode kind of thing. But then you get Wong in 3 episodes, Blonsky in 4. It's like, fuck. Oh my! Like, it doesn't know what it wants to do. I don't think with the it doesn't know what it wants to do with its own show. And that is a problem.
And sometimes, irritatingly, especially I can get past the CGI.
Yeah.
But then the problem is that sometimes it does feel like a budget show. Like in episode 7, the most recent one, half of it is literally set in a room.
Yeah.
With characters just talking. I'm not saying that can be bad. It wasn't particularly interesting.
No,
and it was clearly just a budget-saving episode.
I quite like when an episode of a show is set entirely in one room or one place. I find that very interesting to see how they're going to go about it. It didn't do it well.
No.
And it wasn't interesting. And none of the characters we got introduced to were that interesting.
It does feel like a lot of the budget went on... It feels like a lot of the budget went on the first episode.
They're like, look, it's Bruce.
We've got to pay Mark Ruffalo, and which I'm glad they did, but we've got to make sure that the Hulk CGI looks like it does in the movies.
I guess that's the thing, because this is the first time we've seen She-Hulk. They're setting the bar for where She-Hulk is. They set the bar.
I still hope she gets upgraded.
I bloody hope so. But like, if she's in like Avengers film, can we fucking step that up, please?
Which she's got to be. Otherwise,
with
what's the point?
we established our Professor Hulk, Smart Hulk, whatever you want to call him, in Endgame, and even before that, we'd established Hulk years ago as being a very good piece of CGI. We had to keep that up.
Do you reckon they did Professor Hulk just for She-Hulk? Because I don't really know.
Maybe.
Or because they
needed...
Because of Avengers going forward. I'm not sure how interesting of a character Professor Hulk really is, apart from... Because I think Hulk is a more interesting character, because you still get Mark Ruffalo being Bruce Banner all sciencey, but then you also get a more interesting form of Hulk.
Yeah.
You kind of get this middle ground where you can't have as much Bruce because CGI is expensive, but yet you don't get the interesting Hulk elements.
Well, yeah, because now he can turn back into Bruce. Because he was driving the car as... Can he change from Bruce to Professor Hulk, or...
Tell me if I'm wrong, but I think the idea was that he could change for a bit, but then after the accident he used Jen's blood, now he doesn't anymore.
Right. Because I know that in, like, Shang-Chi, we saw an injured Bruce. He was driving the car as Bruce, but now is he stuck again? It all feels very... They don't know what they're doing with Hulk either.
And now the MCU, it almost like... It just kind of goes, well, now... I think it was Parker who made the great comparison of the MCU almost now feels a little bit like The Boys, because in The Boys universe it's just casually set up.
Everywhere.
Obviously you have your teams, you have like the Seven ship, then you also just have some people that just are superheroes.
Yeah. And it does feel
whereas
like the guy who was throwing himself out of windows when he wanted to get out, you've got all the people at
all the therapy
Blonsky's retreat place. And I saw someone say, oh, I love how the MCU are introducing the mutants, and then showed a picture of the guy who throws himself out windows.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't like it if that's what it... Like, it is strange.
I am pleading that I think the MCU as a whole go back to 3 films a year, because... I think, two-step problem, and then we'll work out why this helps it so much. Go back to 3 films a year and hire a Kevin Feige figure for TV.
Yeah.
Because Kevin Feige himself has proven that he can oversee 3 films a year to a very high quality. Maybe he can't... Or, well, if you want to keep it at 4 films, but now Kevin Feige doesn't have to help the TV, maybe he could manage that.
I can drink this now.
I think the biggest thing is hire a Kevin Feige-like figure, even if Kevin Feige is still like exec producer.
Get someone to help him out
fully, because I don't think MCU Phase 4 is as bad as people have said it is at all.
The other problem...
I think the problem is overall the universe itself feels like since Endgame, it just doesn't, like, it, especially because we've had so many projects since, like, the end of COVID. Like WandaVision was, what, a year and a half away, and then we've had, like, what, 6 or 7 films since then, and we've had the same Matt Disney Plus show. We've been bombarded with a lot, like, we don't think we've had many, like, hitters. And I'm one of those who, like, really enjoyed Eternals and things like that.
Yeah.
So, like, this... And, like, I really enjoyed Miss Marvel, which people didn't seem to. So, like, if that's how I'm feeling, and I've enjoyed this era more than most have, I wonder how others are going to feel.
I just think it is...
People start giving up on Marvel.
I shouldn't say Marvel is, like, dying. I don't think it's dying, but I think it needs to sort itself out in terms of where is it going.
They are hurting their brand.
It feels like they're going,
quickly.
Have this, and then they're very much relying on shock factor for a lot of it. Like, look, Charlie Cox is back as Daredevil, isn't that cool? Even like with the Spider-Man stuff, like, oh look, you got your old Spider-Man back. We're doing the Avengers Secret Wars, isn't that massive? You're like, yes, but in the back of your mind, you got to go, how are we getting there? Like, fuck it, how are we doing this? And even like Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
How is that happen? What?
It's the problem of we're creating too many franchises whilst also having to upkeep old ones.
Yeah.
Like, we're there going, we've got to create this franchise and that franchise to keep it going. We've also got to continue this franchise. and where do we go? Because Kevin Feige is just a man.
Yeah.
And people estimate the role of the producer. Like the producer the producer will be there like viewing like dailies from the films. So the producer will be like viewing like a lot of like what's getting shot on a day-to-day basis. Like how Kevin Feige's going to do a Star Wars film as well.
Oh, I fucking don't know how he's managing that. It's
mad.
The MCU is beginning to show signs of struggle and worry. It's like this is
just like how the Avengers initially, like the original like Phase 1 Avengers film, was like a proof of concept. People thought it couldn't be done. That could be done, but now it's turned into I think people went almost like the Avengers happened, now anything is possible.
Yeah.
And I think people has put so much faith in Marvel that we hit the ceiling.
Yeah, we need to. Yeah, it almost peaked, like with Endgame and that sort of whole Infinity. I think it peaked. It's gone. Wow, that was, and now it's like, and now it's starting again.
What I am grateful for is, imagine if, say, after Age of Ultron, things went bad. I feel like, and they've labelled it themselves as, like the Infinity Saga.
Yeah.
We will always have the quality of the Infinity Saga.
Oh, incredible.
If it continues on the path that you've got, you can still just think of that as like almost like the end of this universe and just go, like, wow, we got the we got the Infinity Saga. Isn't that
class? Yeah. And just with the multiverse, fuck off. So I'm sorry, the multiverse saga.
Multiverse, fuck off.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
I'm not sure how you do a film like Secret Wars, because Secret Wars is the complete balance of, you've got all of these characters in the current MC you've got to fit in there with cameos, whilst telling a coherent story.
My understanding of the comics Secret Wars is our Earth collides with another Earth.
It's something called Battle World, I believe.
So 2 Earths collide, and then there is a big fight. That is my understanding. So I think what happens is one of the Earths has to get destroyed to save the other. So obviously, one of them, no, we're destroying you, we're living. The other said, oh, we're going to kill you so we can live. I think that's what's happening. How on God's green earth is that going to happen in a coherent story while shoving in cameos from the whole of the Marvel history? Fucking hell. Hugh Jackman's back there.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman's back in Deadpool 3.
There we go, love that.
Yeah, that's how fickle we are as fans. Like, honestly, like, we're there going like, oh yeah, nah, the MCU hasn't been good.
And then we're like,
D23 announcements, yeah.
And then there were fucking none. And now they're like, yeah, Hugh Jackman's back. He's like, sorry, Miss D23. Could you not have put this news back? Come on.
That would have been the headline from D23.
It does make me wonder, could you not have announced that?
Could we not have worked out that deal a little bit earlier?
Like, could you not have done that, like, what, 3 weeks earlier? Could we not have done that, maybe?
I am very wary, we might be boring people with Marvel talk.
Sorry.
Quick thought, is Deadpool 3 the backdoor pilot for the X-Men in the MCU?
I think so. I think it's a good way to introduce them.
Yeah.
I think Deadpool's a very clever character to introduce them. Because obviously he's very self-aware, like... I think Deadpool's a great way to introduce them.
So, would you like to see a completely new team of X-Men in the MCU? One or both of the old teams in the MCU? Or what has been suggested is almost like a pick and choose via the multiverse. You can keep Patrick Stewart if you want.
You can have Hugh Jackman involved.
If fucking Michael Fassbender wants to keep going.
Ian McKellen.
And then you can also introduce some new ones depending on.
I think they could either literally get have the MCU's group of X-Men with the Fantastic Four. They're having, this is our Fantastic. There might be that universe. And this is our. They need to do that. Or I quite like the idea of picking and choosing an all-star X-Men team. I think that could be sick. Just go the best of the best from all the universes. Going, this is our X-Men. This is the best X-Men.
It's the problem. It's like I was saying initially with Spider-Man. Is that now if Tom Holland ends up facing a Doc Ock, that will feel weird.
Strange.
I don't think this is quite the same because I feel like there's probably a more natural way to do it. But it's kind of like we're going to kind of half bring or do some stuff with the old X-Men and then maybe introduce a new team.
Yeah. It is weird that
How
now
does that work?
with the amount of Marvel films, getting our current MCU heroes to face, because I guess that was the thing with like Vulture getting involved and Scorpion. We haven't seen them before. That's fine, but yeah, because the next idea he goes to college ? If he then goes, your professor's Norman Osborn, you can be like, or Kurt Connors, you're gonna be like,
Yeah, well, I
we've
know.
seen Reese Fans do it, and he was.
But then I also do want Sinister Six.
But I do, yeah. But that was the one thing from No Way Home. I was like, oh come on, don't tease us that close to giving us the Sinister Six. But I guess they couldn't because fucking Sandman and
Yeah.
what's his face.
They should have actually
The other
got
guy
them on
couldn't
set.
be there.
That
Who
was
was it?
weird.
Oh, Lizard and Sandman couldn't actually
Why?
be there.
They should have got them on
But
set.
don't bother
to
them.
film there.
Yeah, like, sorry, if you're doing that, and I'd be fumed if I were them. If I was like,
It's like, well,
do
you're
you
not
want to come back?
So the thing they did
You
do
do
voice.
they did voice.
they
Like,
did
do you want to come back and do voice work? But like, no, I want to come back and be Sandman. Like, Jesus. And when we watch back the more fun stuff version, seeing like when they go back into their human forms, you can see so badly
it's
cut
so
out.
badly.
It is awful.
Because you'll like see you'll see shots of like I would single one out, but like both of them, and you'll see them. It's like that's a weird emotion for you to have right now. Like Sandman will get
Well, he's
killed,
not looking-
and like you're not interacting with Toby right now. You're just looking nervous and looking at
even
yourself.
when like I think the Reese Fans Lizard one was slightly better. It sort of just like falls back. That was slight, but the Sandman one where they got Toby there.
But then there's just shots of him just like almost like crying and like the lizard
because-
one. I was just like.
Because when you see, like, when Sandman first meets our Spider-Man, and he's like, Spider-Man, it's me. Remember me? Like, and then to see Toby and just be like, my hand. Surely be like, oh my god, Spider-Man.
I think it is
Really?
jarring
It's
because
so weird.
because we as the audience know they actively made efforts with Alfred Molina, Jamie Foxx, William Dafoe.
Seeing those three be incredible,
And
and
then,
the amount they had to go to get them to, like, I feel sorry for, I can never remember Sandman's name. Kristen Hayden, no.
Thomas Hayden
Thomas
Church.
Hayden Church. Oh, so it's Hayden Christensen and Thomas Hayden Church. Me gets mixed up.
I also love how in like before we thought, oh yes, if they're building towards a multiverse Sinister Six, Vulture might be involved, and now we know via Morbius that through Spider-Man No Way Home stuff, Vulture is now in the Morbius universe, which might also be the Venomverse as well.
And Andrew Garfield.
And Andrew
Spider-Man
Garfield
universe.
might also be there or
I'm
might not.
so baffled.
But now that also means we've lost Vulture in the MCU,
I loved
which is a
him.
cool
He was
Spider-Man
great.
character.
But that's the thing. There's so many Spider-Man villains. I know we're getting like Kraven the Hunter film. But there's so many Spider-Man villains.
And now Michael Keaton because Michael Keaton might have been coming back as Batman, but then he was part of the Batwoman
It's so confusing.
or Batgirl film that got cancelled.
Yeah.
And then I think he still might be in the Flash, but we don't know if the Flash is
So
happening
fucking
because Ezra Miller is a
confusing.
twat.
It's
so
genuinely the most fucking backwards, confusing thing to try and follow. I don't know what's going on anymore.
So thank you for
I'm
watching the Mediocre Bester podcast. I've been drinking an oatmeal stout, beer 52. Please, I will happily pay you the $5. Please send me a fucking box.
I've been drinking pineapple Hefeweizen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Subscribe. Do we do anything else here on the podcast?
No, just tell them to subscribe, because if they don't, we think less of them.
Okay. Yeah, sorry.
Generally, if you're not subscribed, I just think you're a bit
What
cracked
are
on.
you doing?
And to us two personal channels,
Oh,
just
yeah.
banging content. Bye.
I love how I just put this like coat on like halfway through.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
It just vibes in it.